Okay, so today we will discuss one more special case of the lossy dielectric, that is plane waves. Plane waves in good conductors. Okay, so this is also one of the special case of lossy dielectric. So where we have the conductivity which is equal to infinity, or we can say it is very much large. Okay, and epsilon which is equal to epsilon naught, and mu which is equal to mu naught and mu r. And also we can say for good conductors this sigma is far greater than omega epsilon. So these are the conditions we can take for the good conductors where the wave propagation happens. Now let us see how the electric field intensity and magnetic field intensity or the fields will propagate through conductors. Okay, so now as we have seen, so we know that the equation alpha and beta, so which is equal to omega into square root of mu epsilon by 2, so into square root of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square minus 1. Okay, so this is what the alpha equation, and similarly beta we have mu epsilon divided by 2 into square root of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square, so plus 1. Okay, so this all we are having a well known equation of this alpha and beta. Now let us take this condition, that is sigma which is far greater than omega epsilon. Now if I impose this condition into these two equations, what will happen? So since this sigma is far greater than omega e, or we can write sigma by omega epsilon ratio which is far greater than 1. Okay, so now if I impose this condition, we can see sigma by omega epsilon which is far greater than 1. So we can take this equation and approximate it as sigma by omega epsilon. Okay, and also so since it is far greater than 1, so even subtraction of 1 or addition of 1, so that doesn't make any difference for this ratio, that is omega by epsilon, that is sigma by omega epsilon. So if I take that condition and if I write alpha, okay, so which is equal to omega into square root of mu epsilon divided by 2 into, so this I am considering it as omega by, so that is sigma by omega epsilon which is far greater than 1, which is equivalent to sigma by omega epsilon whole square. So if I take square root and square outside, so we will going to get sigma by omega epsilon. So this complete square root term which will be leads to sigma by omega epsilon, and subtracting 1, so that doesn't make any sense, that is that doesn't make changes of this ratio because it is very much large. So that's why we can write sigma by omega epsilon. Okay, so that is what we can write, and we can see here epsilon will going to cancel here, and this omega if I take into the square root, so what you will going to get? Omega square mu divided by 2 into omega square, so this sigma is there in the numerator. So now you can see, so this is omega, so 1 omega and omega gets cancelled, and we left out with omega mu sigma by 2. So this is what alpha. Even similarly, if we apply this condition to beta, again the same value it will come for beta also. Okay, so that we can write, so which is alpha which is equal to beta which is equal to square root of, so omega into, so whatever the expression we got, omega mu into sigma divided by 2. So this is what for alpha and beta expressions. Okay, so now let us take this equation, so numbers, so where the condition we have taken here, so let us take this as 40, and this condition where we got alpha equal to beta which is equal to square root of omega mu epsilon omega mu sigma by 2, so that we'll take it as the 41. Okay, so now you can see here, if I substitute omega, which we know the well known expression which is omega equal to 2 pi f. Okay, So now if I substitute that one, you will going to get alpha equal to beta equal to, which is 2 pi f mu sigma divided by 2. Okay, so this 2 will get cancelled and we will going to get square root of pi f mu into sigma. So this is what you will going to get for alpha and beta. So now if I take the velocity, so that is u, which is given by omega by beta. So now we know omega, so and beta we can substitute, so whatever we got here, so omega by square root of omega mu sigma by 2, so which will give, so even you can take this, so square root of omega square, and we can write square root of omega square omega mu sigma divided by 2. So this omega will get cancelled and we will get square root of 2 omega by mu into sigma. So this is what the velocity of the wave. Okay, and also we can define lambda, which is nothing but 2 pi by beta. So again we can substitute beta and we can get the expression for lambda. So now let us take this one, 41b. So these equation, because these are all the parameters which will define the wave propagation in good conductors. Okay, so now if I take the intrinsic impedance, okay, so which is given by square root of j omega mu divided by sigma plus j omega epsilon. So this is the equation from earlier equation. Okay, so now if I take that condition, which is sigma is far greater than omega epsilon, so this term it is very large compared to this one. So what we can do, we can approximate j omega mu divided by sigma. So we can write approximately, so this eta as this one, or we can write eta square, which is equal to j omega mu by sigma. Okay, so now this j term I can write it as omega mu sigma into, so that is 0 plus 1j. Okay, so this I am writing to get the expression in terms of polar form. So this 1j we can write it as 1 at an angle 90. Okay, so that we can write it as omega mu by sigma, so at an angle 90 degree. So this is what you will going to get eta square. So now if I take again square root of this one, you will going to get omega mu by sigma at an angle 45 degree, because so if I take the square root of this angle, so it will be divided by 2. So this is what the intrinsic impedance of this good conductor. Okay, also we can write, so if you take the equation for E and H, so let us take this equation as 42, and now if I write the equation for the electric field intensity and magnetic field intensity, so that will be given by E naught into e power minus alpha z, okay, so into cos of omega t minus beta z, so in the direction of Ax. So this is what we are going to get. This is the attenuation factor and this is the phase constant, so that we know well known equation for electric field intensity. So now we can take this one as 43a, and now H we can write it as H naught into e power minus alpha z cos of omega t minus beta z, so minus 45 degree, because so if I substitute this H naught, which is E naught by eta. Okay, so now eta we can substitute this, whatever we are getting, that 45 degree will go to here. So that is what, so 43b. So we can take it as magnitude of the eta. Okay, also we can write H naught into this term, and then later we can substitute the eta. So that is also possible. So now you can see for this alpha and beta, now if you substitute the values of this for good conductor, what are the relations which we have achieved, so then we will going to get the electric field intensity E and H in terms of alpha and beta. Okay, so now you can see E and H which travels in the conducting medium. So now this, whenever this E and H travels through this conducting medium, that is the large conductivity which is having, so then the wave which will going to attenuate. Okay, So therefore, so we can write how much attenuation happens in the good conductor, because this alpha defines the attenuation factor. So this much attenuation will happen in the good conductor when it is, so when the wave is propagating through the good conductor. Okay, so now we can see this also, we can say the skin depth. So that we will see so in a minute what is this skin depth. Okay, so that relates to the attenuation of the wave. Now if I take the E and H, the wave propagation, so now let us take the magnitude E naught, okay, so which corresponds to the attenuation constant of this factor, that is e power minus alpha z. So now if I take the wave is propagating along the z direction, now if I take that, so magnitude maximum, so the E naught will be the maximum and it will going to decrease its wave attenuation, that is wave amplitude, it will going to so decrease. So now if I take, so the distance in the z direction, which is named as delta. Okay, so if I take this much distance in the z direction, the wave amplitude of this one will going to reduce 1 by E times. Okay, so whenever we take this much distance and the wave propagation happens along the z direction, the wave will going to attenuate 1 by E times of the original value. Or we can take, so we can say, so 37%, because if you take 1 by E, it will be given 0.37, so something like that the value it will give. So that's why the wave, whenever it happens this much distance along the z direction, the wave amplitude which is going to reduce the 37% of its original value. Okay, so that is decided by this, the factor which is e power minus alpha z. So now we can, if I take that z as, so E naught into e power minus alpha z. So now if I equate that one to E naught into e power minus 1. Now I am considering, so when I move the distance this much, okay, so the wave will attenuate e power minus 1 times. Okay, so of its original value. So now if I substitute the z value, so where I am the wave is propagating, so that will given by e power minus alpha into, so that is delta, which is equal to E naught into e power minus 1. So now if I cancel this E naught both the sides, and if I take so e power minus alpha delta, which is equal to e power minus 1, okay, and we can get it as, so delta which is equal to 1 over alpha, or we can write, so alpha delta which is equal to 1 and delta which is equal to 1 by alpha. If you take ln both sides, so ln and e will get cancel each other, alpha delta minus alpha delta which is equal to minus 1 and delta which is equal to alpha. So now this equation, it is true for, so any material medium. Okay, so this delta, that whatever the expression, it is a reciprocal of the attenuation constant. So this is true for any material medium. But for good conductor, so we have the alpha, which is nothing but this one. So we can write that delta, which is equal to 1 over square root of pi f mu sigma. So this is what the relation of delta with the frequency mu and sigma. And this delta, which will be called as the skin depth of the medium. Okay, so what is skin depth? So the depth of the wave, or the depth of the EM wave when it is traveling through the conducting medium, how much it will going to so penetrate the medium. Okay, or else we can say the depth of the EM wave traveling in a medium. Okay, any medium if you take, so this is the relation. And for particularly the good conductor, so this is the relation. Okay, so now this one we can take it as 44a. Okay, so now, so this we have for good conductors, which we have seen, 44b we can take. So these equations we need to follow, because one is related to another in different cases. So now this is what the skin depth describes in the good conductor, that is how much the penetration of the EM wave which happens in the medium. Okay, so now let us take the eta, whatever we defined earlier. So that will be, we have seen already here what is the value of eta. You can hear omega mu by sigma at an angle 45 degree. Okay, so now we can write the equation of the intrinsic impedance. So in terms of the skin depth, so we can write like, so by equation 41, whatever we have taken 41a, so which is alpha equal to beta, which is equal to omega mu sigma by 2. So now that we can write, so this equation we can modify to get the skin depth. Okay, so that we can write it as, so if I multiply both numerator and denominator by 2, okay, so here it is square root, so whatever we are getting from the equation 42. Okay, so this is square root of this one. So now we can write, so this one, so 2 if I or you can write it as 2 pi f, that omega mu divided by sigma. Okay, so this is the equation, so for the intrinsic impedance. Now we can see, we want the delta to be in terms of alpha, which is equal to pi of mu sigma. Okay, so now if I multiply both numerator and denominator by sigma, so what we will going to get? We will going to get 2 pi f mu sigma divided by sigma square. Okay, so this is what we will going to get. So this actually at an angle 45 degree it is there always. Okay, so now we can see here pi of mu sigma, we can write it as 1 over delta. Okay, so that we can write it as square root of 2 by delta into sigma square. So this delta is outside, so we can write, so because square root of pi of mu sigma is 1 over delta, so we can write root 2 and sigma, if I take outside, sigma into delta. So this is what we will going to get, so at an angle 45 degree. So this eta, okay, that is intrinsic impedance of the medium. So now, so this we can convert into a rectangular form. So root 2 at an angle 45 degree, so that will comes out to be 1 plus j divided by sigma into delta. So this is what the intrinsic impedance equation in terms of the skin depth. Okay, so this we can take it as 45, equation number 45. So this is what the parameters we have got. So alpha, beta, intrinsic impedance of the medium, and as well as the E and H equations. And also most importantly, this is the equation for good conductors, that is skin depth. Okay, so is it understood? Any doubt? Hello, anybody? So now if you take the equation of E, okay, so that is E equal to E naught into e power minus alpha z into cos of omega t minus beta z in the direction of Ax. Now you can see, so if I take the z in terms of our alpha and beta, so in terms of the delta, we know that alpha which is equal to 1 over the delta. So if I substitute that, we are going to get E naught into e power minus z by delta into cos of omega t minus, so z by delta. So this is what the equation in terms of the delta, okay, that is skin depth, the electric field intensity in terms of the skin depth. Okay, so now whenever we take this delta, it is a measure of the exponential damping of the wave or attenuation of the wave, because it exponentially reduces whenever the wave traveling through the conducting medium. Okay, so that's why it is the attenuation of the wave. So the skin effect also we can write. Okay, what is skin effect means? skin depth is how much the EM wave penetrate through the medium, and skin effect is how much the field intensity which will going to reduce, okay, when it is traveling on the medium. Okay, so that is what, so the reduction of electric field intensity, or even you can take magnetic field intensity. Okay, so that is, so how much reduction happens, so how much reduction happens, so when it is traveling through the medium. Okay, so that is what the skin effect. And even if you take, so what is this skin effect in frequency, with respect to frequency, you can see with respect to frequency, whenever the frequency in the lower side, the skin depth will be higher, and if you go on higher frequency, then the skin depth will be lower. Now if I take similar a simple wire, okay, so which is having a radius and some thickness. So if I take the radius some a, okay, now this will take it as the delta, that is skin depth. Okay, so now if I take the wire, so if the radius is, so whatever the radius, so which will be far greater than delta at higher frequencies, because so when we go for this equation, okay, so whenever the frequency is gone increasing, so your skin depth will go on decreases. So at higher frequency what will happen, so there is a small thin layer only the current will going to flow. Okay, so on the thin layer of the surfacing, the conducting surface, so on the only small thickness of the surface the current will go, or the fields will going to travel. So that's why, so in conductor, so the EM waves which will be hardly it will going to travel. Okay, because even it is going to attenuate faster, and also the current will flow only on the some small thickness of the surface of the conductor. So that is why, so the EM fields, so on the conductor it will, so hardly it will going to propagate. So now this skin depth, so even it will going to measure what is the AC resistance, so of the, so material or conducting medium. So now we earlier we know the skin depth, that DC resistance which you have calculated. Okay, so that DC resistance which is nothing but length of the wire divided by the conductivity and the cross section of that. Okay, so that we have seen earlier equation. Okay, so now we can, using this skin depth, we can also calculate what is the, so AC resistance, and also the skin resistance, how much resistance on the surface of this conductor. So if you take this much, so only the penetration is happening, or the current which is flowing. So what is this skin resistance? So that also we can calculate. So that skin resistance which is given by 1 over sigma into delta. Okay, so this is the equation for skin resistance. Or we can write, so if I substitute for delta, which is equal to square root of, that is 1 over square root of pi of mu sigma. Okay, so this is 1 over this one, so we can write it as square root of pi of mu sigma divided by sigma, and we can, if I so include in the square root, we will going to get pi of mu sigma by sigma square, and this will going to, so give pi of mu divided by sigma. So this is what the skin resistance. Okay, so let us take this equation as P6. So now based on this skin resistance and DC resistance, we can see what is the actual, the AC resistance which is on this, the conducting medium. Okay, so that AC resistance also we can calculate by using this equation, that is RAC, which is equal to L by sigma delta into omega. Okay, so this is the equation we will calculate the AC resistance. So where here, so whenever we at the low frequency, the DC resistance will be greater than this AC resistance. Okay, so because at the low frequency and DC, so the current which will be flowing on complete conductor or complete medium. Okay, but when we come to the higher frequency, only the some small portion it is going to flow current. So that's why at low frequency RDC is much greater than RAC, and when we go for higher frequencies the RAC will so much greater than RDC. So now if I take the length and width of this conductor, okay, so the length and width, that per unit length, okay, so the length per unit length and per unit width of the conductor, so then we can write, so this whatever the AC resistance, so the surface or cross sectional area, we can write that, so length into width, so that we can write it as delta into W, okay, so that S, so we can write delta into W. So for since it is the width and the depth of this penetration which happens, so that cross sectional area which we can define it as del into W. So now if we have the conductor of radius A, so then we can define this AC resistance to DC resistance ratio. So we can know that AC resistance is L by sigma del W and DC resistance is L by sigma into S. Okay. So now this S, so since it is completely going the current which is, so which completely go on the complete conductor, so that's why we have the surface area, we can cross sectional area we can substitute it as pi a square for the DC case, and we have del W, that is S. In the AC case we can substitute it as 2 pi a, only the circumference we can take, because in the higher frequency or AC case only on the surface it will go, so that's why we can take that, so S which is equal to 2 pi a. So now if I substitute that, so we can get that AC to DC ratio, the resistance of AC to DC we are going to get, okay, so that is L by sigma into 2 pi a, so into delta. So that width we can put it as 2 pi a, and here L by sigma into pi a square. Okay, so now we can get this one. So what are the things cancel each other, we can write pi a square by sigma pi a square by L, so into, so L by sigma 2 pi a into delta. So now a will get cancelled and pi will get cancelled, L will get cancelled and sigma will get cancelled. So what we will get, so a by 2 into 1 over delta. So this is what we are going to get, and delta if I substitute a into 2, so that is a by 2 into pi of mu sigma. So this is what the AC resistance to DC resistance ratio. Okay, so if delta is far great, that is, so at higher frequency what will happen, so this delta is far less than a, then we can approximate it to, so a by 2. Okay, so this is what the AC to DC resistance ratio. And whenever this, so important thing here the skin depth is, so whenever we take the higher conducting material, that is sigma, okay, so if I take the higher conducting material, the skin depth is very small. So let us take for example, okay, copper which is at 10 hertz, so the skin depth which is equal to around, so maybe around 28 or 20 mm, let us assume, okay, and at something like 100 megahertz, so this penetrated the skin depth which will be only 6 mm. Okay, so now you can see the skin depth of the high conducting material, that is copper, which is, so at low frequency it is the higher, and at the higher frequency it is lower. Even if you take silver, it is still much, so the conductivity is higher and we will get the skin depth which is lower. So that is the reason where we have the shielding comes, that electromagnetic shielding comes. So where we have shield the some other component like brass material. So if we coat that waveguide component or brass component with a silver coat, then there is no difference between the skin depth of purely silver material and the silver coated brass material, because so the conductivity of silver is higher, the skin depth or current flow which is only on the surface of the waveguide or surface of the conducting material. So that is why, so this skin depth makes very important role in so many applications where we have the current flow which we need so on the surface. So then we can coat that so shielding material. We can coat that conducting material as a shielding material. Okay, so this is about the so plane waves in good conductors and about the skin depth and skin effect. So is there any doubt in this? Anybody? Hello? Hello? Any doubt in this? Be able to follow these equations and all? Any doubt in any equation? Hello? Anybody, any doubt? Hello? Okay, so then we'll do one problem based on this. So based on the whatever the properties we have studied, so about the plane waves in different media. Okay, so take the problem. A plane wave, okay, propagating through a medium okay, so with sigma which is equal to 3.65 into 10 power minus 3 or Siemens per meter, and we have mu r which is equal to 2 and E, so the electric field intensity which is given by 0.5 into e power minus z by 3 okay into sine of okay, so 10 power 8 t minus beta z okay, so ax volt per meter. So this is what E which is given 0.5 e power minus z by 3, so sine of 10 power 8 t minus beta z into ax. Okay, so now determine, so the first one beta you have to find out since we don't know beta, and then second one you have to find out loss tangent, and C intrinsic impedance of the medium eta, and D which is the wave velocity, and E you have to find out h. So this is what the problem. The E is given, mu is given, and we have this is mu r actually not mu r which is equal to 2 and sigma which is given. So now we have to find out so these parameters, that is beta, loss tangent, eta, wave velocity and h. Okay, so now we know the equation which is given E 0.5 okay, so e power minus z by 3 into sine of 10 power 8 t minus beta z. Okay, this is what we are going to, so we have. So now from this we can, what are the components we can get here? So we have E naught equal to 0.5 okay, and omega which is equal to 10 power 8, so we can see here. Now alpha equal to even, so e power minus 1 by 3, so that alpha is there, so that if we want we can take, or we can, if enough enough data is there, we can find out so without this also. Okay, so now first we need to find out what is beta. So how we can find out beta? We know the equation for beta which is omega into root of mu into epsilon. Okay, so one more data it is given here, mu r and epsilon r equal to 8. Okay, so that is given, I missed it, so you can take epsilon r equal to 8. Okay, so here, so now this we know, so beta well-known equation omega into root mu epsilon. So now we know the omega, which is 10 power 8, and mu, which is equal to mu naught mu r, and epsilon naught epsilon r. Okay, so now we can put the values of this. Mu naught, which is equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7, and mu r, which is 2, and epsilon it is, so 8.8 into 10 power minus 12 into epsilon r 8. So now we can find out what is the value of beta. Find out the value of beta, or we can already find out this epsilon naught in our earlier Coulomb's law and all. We can substitute that 10 power minus 9 by 36 pi. That also we know. So we can substitute this also instead of this value. So what is the value of beta? Anybody calculated? Hello? Anybody calculated? Hello? Anybody doing? What is the value? Hello? Ashwini? Harini? What is the answer? Asma Banu? Hello? Maulya? Reshma? Okay, so you can calculate whatever you are getting this value, so that will be your beta. Okay, and then second one, so we need to find out what is the last tangent, which is tan theta, which will be given by sigma omega epsilon. Okay, so sigma, which is given 3.65 into 10 power minus 3, omega is 10 power 8, and epsilon naught epsilon r, so this one epsilon naught epsilon r 8 into 10 power minus 9 by 36 pi. So this is epsilon r and this is epsilon r. So this is the value of theta. You can calculate. So what is the value of the tan theta or last tangent? And the third one, so which we have eta. So that eta, which will be, so we know that j omega mu by sigma plus j omega epsilon. So substitute this one, j into 10 power 8 into mu r mu naught, we can substitute mu r and mu naught. Okay, so mu naught 4 pi into 10 power minus 7, and this one sigma, which is equal to 3.65 into 10 power minus 3 plus j into 10 power 8 into epsilon, which we can substitute as epsilon naught and epsilon r. So that is 10 power minus 9 by 36 pi. So if you substitute, you will going to get, so eta. Okay, So that eta, so I got it as 177.63 at an angle 13.64 degree. So you need to convert it to polar. So this is the eta, and so last tangent, which is 0.5152, and beta you will get 1.33 radians per meter. Okay, so now we can find out what is the wave velocity, that is u, which is equal to omega by beta. So omega is 10 power 8 and beta is 1.33. So we are going to get the velocity as 7.51 into 10 power 8 meter per second. And finally E, so we need to find out h, so which is nothing but h naught, so into e power minus z by 3 sine of omega t minus beta z in the direction of ay. So now h naught, which is nothing but e naught by eta. Okay, so that e naught by eta, so we can write it as, so e naught which we know 0.5, so eta we can write, so this whatever 177.63 at an angle 13.64 degree. So now we can write this h as, so this magnitude value, so which is equal to 2.65 into 10 power minus 3, so into e power minus z by 3 into sine of 10 power 8 t minus beta is whatever we have got 1.33. Okay, so beta z minus, so here this angle will come into picture, minus 13.64 degree into ay. This is what you are going to get, because we are substituting the h naught value. So this will be equal to 2.65 into 10 power minus 3, so at an angle minus 13.64 degree. So if I substitute that one, so we are going to get, so this equation for h. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask. Hello, have you got it? Okay, so this is what problem, and we will do more problem in the next class.